Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Now, isn't this just a fantastic display of European unity? On one hand, we have the EU ministers discussing another 35 billion euro loan for Ukraine with the money backed by frozen Russian assets. Brilliant move, really. Use Russia's own money against them. The EU plans to join the G7 in a broader package worth 45 billion euros, and you can almost hear the collective groan from Moscow. But then there's a plot twist. Hungary, or more specifically, Viktor Orban, has once again slammed the brakes. Orban's decided to keep everyone in suspense, saying that he'll hold off on agreeing to a previously discussed $50 billion aid package until after the US elections. Because obviously, what better time to decide the fate of Ukraine than after the most unpredictable election on the planet? And in true Orban style, he's not just delaying money for Ukraine, he's also blocking the renewal of sanctions against Russia. Yeah, sanctions against the very country currently invading Ukraine. So, in the meantime, Russia's sitting back watching this bureaucratic telenovela unfold while the EU navigates around Hungary's diplomatic tantrum. It's a fantastic mix of generosity and absurdity that could only come from modern-day European politics. And well, Maria Zakharova is at it again. A true masterclass in Russian diplomacy if your goal is to make threats while playing the perpetual victim. This time, it's the evil West ramping up nuclear tensions with a dramatic photo of an F-35 jet thrown in for good measure. And of course, she's doing what Russia does best these days, warning the US and NATO of catastrophic consequences. Apparently, no one in Moscow has realized that this script is starting to feel a little bit worn out. But let's not forget the highlight of her rant, Ukraine's horrifying crime of wanting to speak Ukrainian in its own parliament and schools. Truly, stuff of nightmares. Imagine a country wanting its official language used in public institutions. Shocking, isn't it? Well, according to Zakharova's logic, it is an outrageous attack on Russian language, a clear act of aggression, because as we all know, in the upside-down world of Russian propaganda, speaking your own language in your own country is a direct threat to global stability.
Да, мы боремся с бандеровцами. Наши там на передовой сражаются. Но при этом мы же слышим, что раздается из окопов по ту сторону, в том числе и русская речь. Как вы считаете, будут ли действовать все эти законы, когда люди в критически важный для себя момент жизни и смерти, по сути, продолжают говорить и думать по-русски, несмотря на то, что в этот самый момент они имеют приказ русских убивать? На что направлены эти законы? Они направлены на то, чтобы еще больше стравливать людей, еще больше, как будто ориентировано это все в какое-то далекое будущее, прокладывать или закладывать мины замедленного действия. И как будто все наоборот происходит. Все большее число жителей Украины предпочитает общаться по-русски, потому что русский нельзя уничтожить, и потому что, возможно, я не знаю, может быть, и в том числе поэтому, они начинают где-то в глубине понимать, что с ними сделали те, кто их так жестоко на Западе обманул.
So once again, Russia's foreign ministry combines melodrama with menace as it clutches its pearls over Ukraine's desire to assert its national identity, all the while pretending to be the calm voice of reason in a world gone mad. The spectacle of authoritarian bromance at its finest. Putin draping a shiny trinket around Lukashenko's neck with the Belarusian leader looking like he's about to cry tears of joy. If this isn't the epitome of modern theater, I don't know what is. The award is for Lukashenko's outstanding contribution to strengthening ties between Russia and Belarus. Seems that in Putin's world, selling out your country to become Russia's obedient puppet is cause for celebration. Lukashenko, as he often does, used the opportunity to remind everyone that Belarusians, Ukrainians, and Russians are all part of the same family. But if you ask anyone outside the Kremlin, they'll tell you that this supposed family tree has been pruned by years of oppression and manipulation from Russia. So let's just pretend that this is a touching reunion of long-lost family members and not the grim theater of a despot desperately clinging to relevance.
За выдающиеся заслуги в развитии отношений России и Беларуси. Удостоверение государственной награде. Такие документы всегда выдаются всем награжденным, но это, конечно, особенное удостоверение. Давайте вместе с вами посмотрим. Лукашенко Александр Григорьевич награжден орденом Святого Апостола Андрея Первозванного.
Святого Апостола Андрея Первозванного награжден Лукашенко Александр Григорьевич, президент Республики Беларусь, председатель Высшего государственного совета Союзного государства.
And the audience? Well, even the seasoned professionals in the business of nodding along to nonsense seem on the verge of dozing off. I mean, how many times can you hear this shtick about brotherly nations before your eyelids starts to feel heavy?
Уважаемый Владимир Владимирович, белорусы видят и очень ценят ту поддержку, которую вы нам оказываете. Беларусь – надежный союзник. Я хочу, чтобы в России это знали прежде всего.
Meanwhile, Belarus is racing towards North Korea levels of psychopathic performances, complete with choreographed love fests for their supreme leader. At least in Pyongyang, they throw in some impressive mass gymnastics. So yeah, according to Belarusian people, this is how democracy looks like. Should we tell them? Okay, never mind. And now, straight from the depth of Putin's beloved bunker, we have the latest riveting development in Russian statecraft. A surprise presidential inquiry into, wait for it, whether a local governor's suit is actually Russian-made. Yeah, you heard that right. At a meeting ostensibly about industrial development, Putin, ever the main priorities, decided to grill one of his governors on the provenance of his wardrobe. Because clearly, when you're overseeing a disastrous war, a crumbling economy, international isolation, the burning question on everyone's mind is your suit Russian-made?
Глеб Сергеевич, а у вас костюмчик-то отечественного производства?
К сожалению, без бирки, потому что сшит, но из отечественной ткани, из отечественного производства.
Здорово, ну прекрасно. Вот к этому нужно стремиться, чтобы мы с удовольствием одевали и пользовались всем тем, что нас окружает, отечественного производства, и чтобы это было самого высокого качества.
Now, this is the state of governance in Russia right now. Forget about the crumbling infrastructure, the shell-starved soldiers, or the fact that Ukrainian drones are practically buzzing over Moscow. What really matters is making sure that everyone is dressed in homegrown threads. And if you can just imagine the poor governor sweating under the weight of his patriotic fabric, praying that his lapel doesn't betray him as a closeted foreign fashionista. Honestly, if Putin spent half as much time worrying about the state of his country's future as he does about patriotic suits, maybe, just maybe, Russia wouldn't be a global punchline. But hey, at least they're trying to win the war of fashion. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.